7 foolproof exercises to build amazing glutes in just 3 weeks. If you're a man who usually skips glute exercises because you think they're just for women, it's time to reconsider. You're missing out on a significant opportunity to improve your quality of life, especially after 40. The glutes, one of the largest and strongest muscle groups in the body, are essential for pelvic stabilization. This directly impacts your posture and can reduce the risk of lower back pain. Plus, they play a crucial role in activities like running, jumping, and lifting heavy objects. Another factor to consider is the strong aesthetic appeal of well-toned glutes, which often symbolize vitality and strength, traits that many women find attractive. So, if you're the type who trains just to turn heads or spark female interest, you definitely shouldn't skip glute day. Here are the 7 best exercises to build and define this key muscle group. Stay tuned until the end, because we'll break down exactly how to perform each one, which part of the glutes they target, and common mistakes people make with each exercise. Exercise number 1. Glute bridge. The glute bridge is one of the most effective exercises for activating and strengthening this area, especially the gluteus maximus, which is the largest muscle in the human body. What makes this exercise so powerful is its ability to isolate the glutes without relying too much on the quadriceps or hamstrings, ensuring deep muscle activation. Additionally, it's an excellent option for those who experience lower back or knee pain when performing squats and other compound exercises, as it works the glutes in a safe and controlled manner. To perform it correctly, lie on your back on the floor with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground, hip width apart. Your arms should be extended at your sides, relaxed. From this position, push your heels into the ground and lift your hips, squeezing your glutes as hard as possible at the top of the movement. Your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Hold this contraction for 1 to 2 seconds, then lower slowly without letting your hips touch the floor completely, maintaining continuous tension in the muscles. A very common mistake in this exercise is raising the hips too high, putting strain on the lower back instead of focusing on the glutes. Another mistake is using the quadriceps to push the body up instead of engaging the glutes, which reduces the effectiveness of the movement. It's also essential to keep your knees aligned and avoid letting them cave inward during the exercise. To ensure full glute activation, control the descent, keeping the movement slow and controlled instead of just going up and down quickly. To make the exercise more challenging, you can add extra weight, such as a barbell or a weight plate on your hips, increasing resistance. If you want an even more advanced level, try the single leg bridge, keeping only one foot on the ground while the other leg remains extended upward. This demands much more strength and balance, further activating the muscles. This exercise can be done as part of your warm-up to activate the glutes before other compound movements, or at the end of your workout for muscle exhaustion. If your goal is hypertrophy, the ideal approach is to perform 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions, always focusing on proper execution and gradually increasing the load over time. Exercise number 2, Abductor machine. Unlike the glute bridge, the abductor machine is one of the most effective exercises for targeting the gluteus medius and minimus, 2 essential muscles for hip stability and key contributors to the rounded shape of the glutes. The abductor machine isolates the lateral glute muscles, making it a fundamental exercise for those seeking full development of this area. Beyond aesthetics, a strong gluteus medius helps prevent injuries in the knees, ankles, and lower back, as it plays a major role in stabilizing the body during activities like running, walking, and even compound exercises such as squats and lunges. Many people neglect this muscle, and a lack of strength in it can lead to improper compensations in the body, causing joint and posture-related pain. To perform the abductor machine correctly, sit on the machine and adjust the backrest so your back is well supported. Place your feet on the designated supports and keep your knees aligned. The movement consists of pushing your legs outward against the machine's resistance, focusing on squeezing your glutes at the end of the movement. Hold this contraction for 1 to 2 seconds, then slowly return to the starting position without letting the machine's weight stack slam down. Maintaining control is essential to keeping the muscle engaged throughout the entire set, maximizing mechanical tension, a key factor for hypertrophy. A common mistake is using excessive weight and reducing the range of motion, only opening the legs halfway or leaning the torso back to compensate for the force. This type of compensation reduces muscle activation and can even cause discomfort in the lower back and hips. The ideal approach is to maintain a controlled pace, prioritizing execution quality over simply pushing heavy weights. To intensify this exercise, you can pause at the peak of the movement, holding the contraction for 3 to 5 seconds to increase muscle activation. Another effective variation is performing partial reps at the end of the set, opening and closing the legs in short movements to fully exhaust the muscles. The ideal rep range depends on your goal, but a solid recommendation is 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions, as the gluteus medius and minimus respond well to higher reps and endurance-focused training. Exercise number 3, Bulgarian split squat. The Bulgarian split squat not only works the glutes intensely, but also demands balance, coordination, and unilateral strength. This means that, besides building strong and well-defined glutes, this exercise helps correct muscle imbalances between the legs, preventing injuries and improving overall body stability. One of the reasons the Bulgarian split squat is so effective for the glutes is that it forces the front leg to bear almost the entire load, reducing the involvement of the quadriceps and the muscles of the back leg. This creates greater stimulation in the gluteus maximus, activating more muscle fibers and maximizing growth in this area. To perform this exercise correctly, position one foot forward and place the other on a bench or elevated surface behind you. The bench should be at about knee height or slightly lower to ensure a good range of motion. Keep your torso upright, engage your core, and lower yourself slowly until the knee of your back leg nearly touches the ground. Then, push back up by driving through the heel of your front leg, squeezing your glutes at the top of the movement. Many people make the mistake of shifting too much weight onto the back leg, when in reality, the focus should be on the front leg. Another common mistake is letting the front knee move too far past the toes, which can put unnecessary strain on the joint. Additionally, losing balance during execution can indicate that the core isn't properly engaged or that the stabilizing muscles aren't strong enough yet. To intensify the Bulgarian split squat, you can hold dumbbells in your hands or place a barbell on your back, progressively increasing the load. Another effective strategy is increasing time under tension, lowering more slowly to force greater muscle fiber recruitment. If you want an extra challenge, you can add partial reps at the bottom of the movement at the end of your set, keeping the glutes under tension for longer. For hypertrophy, the ideal approach is 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps per leg with moderate to heavy weight. If your focus is endurance and conditioning, you can increase the reps to 15 to 20 and reduce rest time between sets. Exercise number 4, lunges. The key factor that makes this exercise so effective for the glutes is the need to push the body up using the heel of the front leg, which leads to intense activation of the gluteus maximus and medius. Additionally, since it's a unilateral movement, it forces the core to work harder to maintain stability, strengthening not just the glutes, but the entire trunk region. Proper execution of lunges starts with an upright posture and an engaged core. Step forward with one leg while simultaneously lowering your hips until the knee of your back leg is close to the ground, forming a 90-degree angle. The knee of your front leg should stay aligned with your ankle without excessively moving forward. To rise, push through the heel of your front foot, squeezing the glutes to return to the starting position. Then, repeat the movement by alternating legs or completing all reps on one side before switching. Common mistakes in lunges include leaning the torso too far forward, which can reduce glute activation and strain the lower back. Another frequent mistake is taking steps that are either too short or too long, which can compromise movement mechanics. A step that is too short shifts excessive weight onto the quadriceps, while a step that is too long can cause instability and reduce control over the exercise. The ideal approach is to find a balance that ensures optimal glute engagement. To intensify lunges, a great option is to hold dumbbells in your hands or place a barbell on your back, progressively adding weight. Another way to increase difficulty is by doing reverse lunges, where you step backward instead of forward. This variation is especially beneficial for those who experience knee discomfort, as it reduces joint impact. For hypertrophy and strength, it's recommended to perform 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps per leg, using moderate to heavy weight. Exercise number 5, Romanian deadlift. Unlike the traditional deadlift, which involves more lower back and quadriceps engagement, the Romanian variation focuses on hip extension, deeply activating the glutes and providing an excellent stretch for the muscle fibers. This movement is essential for those looking for full glute development, improving not only aesthetics but also functional strength. One of the main benefits of the Romanian deadlift is that it works the glutes in both eccentric and concentric phases. During the lowering phase, eccentric, the muscle fibers lengthen, creating a strong hypertrophy stimulus. On the way up, concentric phase, the glutes contract maximally, strengthening the muscles and improving power for pushing and jumping movements. To execute it correctly, hold a barbell or a pair of dumbbells in front of your body with a firm grip. Position your feet hip-width apart. Engage your core and maintain a neutral spine. Start the movement by pushing your hips back, keeping a slight bend in the knees, and lowering the weight until you feel a deep stretch in the hamstrings. The descent should be controlled, without allowing the lower back to round. The movement ends when the weight reaches around mid-shin level or as far as your mobility allows while maintaining good posture. To rise, drive your hips forward, squeezing the glutes forcefully at the top of the movement. Common mistakes in this exercise include rounding the lower back during the descent, which can cause strain and increase injury risk. Many people also bend their knees too much, turning the movement into a partial squat instead of focusing on hamstring stretch. Another frequent mistake is performing the movement too quickly and without control, reducing muscle activation and increasing injury risk. The key to maximizing the Romanian deadlift's effectiveness is time under tension, lowering slowly and coming up explosively, fully engaging the glutes at the top. To intensify this exercise, you can add a pause at the bottom, holding the stretch for 2 to 3 seconds before coming back up. For hypertrophy and strength, it's recommended to perform 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, always focusing on progressive overload and proper execution. Exercise number 6, weighted step-up. To perform this exercise correctly, use a bench or an elevated platform at least knee height, and hold dumbbells or a barbell to add resistance. Place one foot fully on the platform, keep your torso upright and engage your core. Push through the heel of the working leg to step up, squeezing the glutes at the top before lowering yourself back down slowly. Avoid using momentum from the back leg to ensure the effort is concentrated on the glutes. Common mistakes include pushing off with the back leg, leaning the torso too far forward, and choosing an improper platform height. The ideal setup is when the knee of the working leg forms an approximately 90-degree angle at the start of the movement. To intensify, progressively add more weight, slow down the descent to increase time under tension, or pause at the top to hold the glute contraction longer. Another challenging variation is the step-up with knee drive, which increases balance demands and further activates the gluteus medius. The ideal volume depends on your goal. For hypertrophy, 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps per leg with moderate to heavy weight. For endurance, 15 to 20 reps with lighter weight and full movement control. Beyond muscle growth, step-ups improve coordination, stability, and functional strength while keeping joint impact low. Exercise number 7, traditional squat. The traditional squat is considered one of the fundamental movements in strength training. It activates the entire posterior chain, including the glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, lower back, and core, making it one of the most effective exercises for muscle growth, strength, and power development. Among all squat variations, the back squat with a barbell is the most widely used, as it allows for heavier loads and works multiple muscle groups in an integrated way. When it comes to glute development, this exercise is essential because it enables maximum stretch and intense contraction of the gluteus maximus, leading to significant hypertrophy when performed correctly. For proper execution, position your feet shoulder-width apart, with your toes slightly pointing outward. The bar should rest on your upper back, not your neck, to avoid cervical strain. Engage your core and keep a neutral spine to ensure stability and protect your lower back. Start the movement by pushing your hips back and lowering yourself slowly, bending your knees until your thighs are at least parallel to the floor if possible. Go even deeper for greater glute activation. Push through your heels to stand back up, squeezing your glutes at the top. A common mistake when squatting is allowing the knees to cave inward, which can put excessive stress on the joints and reduce glute activation. To prevent this, focus on keeping your knees aligned with your toes throughout the movement. Another frequent mistake is lifting the heels off the ground, which may indicate poor ankle mobility or improper weight distribution. The ideal approach is to keep the weight in your heels and avoid leaning too far forward, as this can overload the lower back. An effective variation is the deep squat, ATG, ass to grass, where you lower yourself until your glutes nearly touch your heels, promoting maximum muscle fiber stretch. For optimal results, work with moderate to heavy weights, performing 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. And if you want to know the #1 exercise for every muscle group, don't miss the video popping up on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and may God bless you, my friend.